this is Brian. Welcome to Chillin' Night Live. We're from 8 p.m. Eastern Time until 9 o'clock. We'll talk about all things horror, science fiction, paranormal. You pick the topic and we'll make a show out of it. But first of all, first and foremost, Happy New Year's Eve. So wherever you are, I hope you're having a good time celebrating. Stephanie says, hey y'all, Happy New Year. Hey Stephanie, thanks for joining us. There's Ava. Happy New Year. Happy New Year. Yes. And Ava's on Facebook right now. And looks like Stephanie's on YouTube. Ava's on Facebook. And if you're new on here, we are multi-streaming. So some of you are on Facebook, some are on YouTube, but you can't see each other. But I fortunately can see all. Tom says, woohoo! Woohoo indeed! Thank you, Tom, for joining us. Bonehead says, hey, hello, Chiller Night crew. And Brian, happy not quite New Year. No, not quite. But we're getting there, by golly. The clock's a-ticking and ticking away to midnight. What are you fine, frightening folks planning to do tonight at midnight? What are you going to do? What are your plans tonight? I know Ava and I are just spending a quiet night home until midnight. We'll do our toast every year. Very traditional. We're even if we're here or if we're at somebody's house, we still watch the ball drop in Times Square and bring in the new year officially. So Bonet says, Happy New Year's Eve, everyone. Happy New Year's Eve indeed. So I hope everyone is having a good evening. What? Boba Fett. What are you doing? Nobody puts Boba in the back. All right. Where are we at here? All right. Now we're official. All right. So now that's what we're going to do. And we will, Stephanie says, same here with my mom, Brian. Oh, okay. Well, that was a nice evening in sometimes, you know. We've been doing that quite a bit since we've moved to where we live now. We've been living for, the last 9 years anyways. This is our 9th holiday season here where we're living currently. But our 17th New Year's Eve, or holiday season, and New Year's Eve together tonight, so Ava and I. So we're pretty happy about that. Tom says, I will be so asleep long before midnight. Oh, boo! Dan says, hi, Brian. Happy New Year. Missed you last week. Sorry, but well, we appreciate you being here tonight. Good seeing you. All caps and all. Dan says, caps again, LOL. Patrick says, hello. Hey, Patrick, thanks for joining us. Brian says, Happy New Year to you both. Thank you, Brian. I appreciate that. And to you and Terry as well. Thank you. Patty says, Happy New Year, all. Happy New Year, Patty. Thanks for joining us. And we will get that straightened out with the location with the UPS. So I haven't been in the store since then, but it seems like an easy enough solution to do that. So I could have had that for tonight to reveal what the package was that you had sent, but maybe next week, we'll see. So yes, we are staying in. Amy says, oh, hey, all right. Amy says, Happy New Year. Thanks for joining us, Amy. Happy New Year to you and to Robert and Garrett and all your Kaylee and Megan and all your family. So hope you're having a good time. And yeah, like I said, not too much going on this end, but we are very traditional. Here at the Hogue House, we have our sauerkraut and kibasi and pork roasting away. So, and of course, we'll have our champagne at midnight. So Dee says, good evening, everyone. Happy New Year's Eve. Quiet night at home with the family. Play games, eat snacks. Gonna watch the New Year's Eve ball drop. Yep, that's what our plans are as well, Dee. So sounds like a good time. Hey, does anybody, Tom, before you go to sleep, we're wondering, did you see Nosferatu? And if so, what did you think? I've been hearing some good reviews on Nosferatu. So I don't know anybody personally yet who has seen it. So I'm wondering if you've actually seen, got a chance to check that out yet. I know you said I think it was last week, where you said that you were going to watch that. I think a couple others said that they were going to check that one out as well. So, Tom, or anybody else, has anybody else seen Nosferatu? And if so, what did you think of it? Kind of curious to know. Like I said, the very few reviews that I've seen on it, it seemed like it was, I mean, the reviews seem pretty favorable. So, all right. So, what do all of you think? Let me know in the comments. And right now, I would like to say, Chiller Night Theater every Saturday night on Stream TV. Chiller Night Theater every Saturday night on Stream TV, hosted by the one, the only Jack Shadow. Yes, indeed, Jack Shadow will give you classic. We'll present classic and not so classic chiller features from yesteryear. So, and you can watch those on Stream TV every Saturday night, beginning at 9 p.m. Eastern Time on Stream TV. You can see their logo right up here, and you can see their website right here, streammedia.tv. So check them out, check them out. I don't know what movies in advance will be playing. I used to do that. I used to send a schedule to Stream TV, but they've been putting their own. I stopped doing that last year on New Year's in January of this year. I stopped doing that. So. So Stephanie says, I haven't seen Nosferatu yet. Ah, okay. Oh, there's Jason. Thanks for joining us, Jason. Happy New Year, my fellow ghouls, and to the Master Ghoul, Brian. All right. Thank you, Jason. Thank you very much. Good to have you here joining all of us. Brian says, Happy New Year. Happy New Year, Brian. Amanda says, Happy New Year. Happy New Year, Amanda. Thanks for joining us. Tom says, I did. It was decent. Cinematography was excellent. Casting a bit hit and miss. Interesting. Okay. All right. It was decent. So, I don't know. Very rarely go to the theaters anymore, because one of the things is that we don't really have one too close to us anymore. The Cranberry Mall, in which my store, and I will be shamelessly plugging that here within the hour. We don't have a theater anymore. The theater went out along with probably 6 or 7 other stores within the 2.5 years I've been there. Tom says screenplay could have been a bit more tweaked. Okay, all right. John says it's time to ring out the old and get ready to ring in the new. It's time again for the last chiller night of 2024. Very true, very true. This is Crozak the Grand, and now here's Bryan Hogue. Thank you, Crozak the Grand, and that's right. Thank you again for your stellar intros. That's it. The last show of the year of 2024. I hope the year was good for you, but I hope that you have a better 2025. We're going to find out one way or the other. Ava says, is this streaming? Nice for Rod 2. It is streaming. This is streaming. Nice for Rod. LOL. Talk to text. Nosferatu. Oh. It's like, Rod. Who's Rod? Okay, Nosferatu instead of nice for Rod 2. No, it's not streaming yet. It's not streaming yet. It just came out. It just came out to theaters on Christmas Day. So, I believe. So, Dan says, speaking of your shirt, I finally watched the last Star Wars movies. Palpatine is the only character I like. I hate everyone else. LOL. Everyone. Yeah. You know, it is strange because Kevin says, good evening. Good evening, Kevin. Thanks for joining us. Sue says, Happy New Year. Hey, Sue, thank you for joining us. Happy New Year to you as well. Thank you. Dan says, LOL. Yeah, it's a strange thing because with Palpatine, it's funny because in the expanded universe, long ago, back in the early 90s, when they continued a certain storyline called Dark Empire, which at that time, you know, for the expanded universe was the canon, the official storyline, Palpatine did survive the Death Star, the second Death Star explosion. He did survive that. His essence, his Force essence, when you see all that blue beam coming up out of the chasm there and the Death Star, it actually his Force powers, I guess, found their way back to a cloning facility on a planet Bias or BYSS or something like that. And he was a new started back into an earlier version of himself, a newer, younger body, and within the same story. It's a comic series by Dark Horse Comics. We found out that Boba Fett also survived. So those two characters survived like way back in the early 90s. So that was nothing new. But when they did it again on film and then and in live action with the Book of Boba Fett and the Rise of Skywalker, a lot of people were complaining. I don't know why I don't know a lot of people, but there were some complaints, and I'm thinking, did you not ever read the early expanded universe? This stuff has already been kind of played. Let's see. Roger says, Happy New Year, U.S. for us. Well, Happy New Year, Carl. Thanks for joining us. Patty says, Werewolves is available on Fandango for about $25. Oh, okay. Werewolves. I did see the trailer to that. That did look pretty cool. I am looking forward to seeing that. Dan says, he makes Vader look like a kid. Yeah, Palpatine. Yeah, I know. He is a pretty interesting character. Vader's nothing, Dan says. Yeah. He was a lot. I don't know. He was very impressive in A New Hope and in The Empire Strikes Back. He was like so big and bad. And in Rogue One, if you've seen him in Rogue One, the movie that came out in, is it 2016, 17? I don't remember. But in there, it was really cool. But yeah, not so much in Return of the Jedi. Bob says, hey, Bob, thanks for joining us. Happy New Year, Hoagie. I'd like to start over in younger body. Just don't want to go to the dark side to get it. Yeah. Yes, I hear you. Yes. Well, I won't be starting on my younger body anytime soon tonight anyways. Been eating a lot of snacks and stuff. Over the holidays, I tend to put on, like anybody, I suppose, after I break my diet and like my certain exercise and diet routine to get down to like 160 to play Jack Shadow for the haunted house. At least for the original outfit. I don't always get that low to play it like on the show. I didn't always just drop down in weight that low to play them on the show necessarily. But for the haunted house, I like to make it a point to. Just to give it that old original House of Terror from 2006, 7, and 8, that feel. So, yeah, but during the holiday, right after Halloween is done, like, yeah, here's Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's, and I do put on easily 10, 12, 13 pounds. And then January, and I don't know how many of you are really dedicated with your New Year's resolutions. Everyone kind of rolls their eyes at New Year, new me. I see the memes like, inundating social media. But I actually take that very, very seriously. Like I hit it pretty good in January. So hopefully you do too. And I don't know what your resolutions are. You're free to share them if you want to. Bob says, Rogue One, in the end, you finally get to see the real Vader, the juggernaut of doom that he was. I know, such a neat, very, very cool, and he seemed just like a monster, that like the monster scene. He's coming through and nothing can stop him. And you have the one rebel there trying to pass the data chip to his fellow rebels to escape, and and they're all screaming and being killed in the hallway. Such a dark, you can see the monster coming, and that is so cool. And then one of the few things that Disney Star Wars did within the first 2 years of The Mandalorian was really really cool because they actually did a version of that with Luke Skywalker when they did brought Luke Skywalker onto The Mandalorian season 2 final episode of that season, and you see it's Luke coming into the Imperial base for the ship. He fights all those dark troopers. Those were robotic dark troopers, and he's just cutting right through them, man. And it's kind of a reflection of how Vader was in that hallway scene. Well, we see all that with Luke in his hallway scene, and just saw how deadly both of them were. So both of those are like super super cool scenes. Roger's got some very very colorful emojis there of the eagle and the explosion and celebration looking. So Patty says weight gain had never been a problem for me. I don't seem to gain or lose. Oh no. Well, I do if I don't keep it under wraps, I guess. If I don't make a conscious decision. The worst I had ever been, and I know, I'm 5'9", so I'm not too tall, but I mean, at like 160 or even 155, I feel very good at that weight. But if I put on more than that, if I get to about 170, I'm uncomfortable. And if I go above that, if I hit 180, I'm like, that's very few times I've done that, but I'm very uncomfortable at that point. And there was one time where I got up to almost 190, and it was just it was weird because when you're working a profession for so long, and you leave and you go to something else that's completely different. Now you're in a different world, and I don't know. You're sitting at a desk. It's kind of easy to let yourself go when you've just everything is new house, new job, new everything, and so. Thank goodness I caught that and did something about it. Within I was on one of those P90 exercises routines. I dropped down like 30 pounds in less than 10 weeks. So if you ever never tried those, as long as you're faithful to it and eat sensibly and do what you're supposed to do, they're very very effective. So. But Patty doesn't have a weight problem, doesn't gain or lose. Well, wouldn't that be nice? At least the gain part, don't want to gain, hopefully not. So, hey, has anybody else seen Nosferatu? And I want to ask Patty, because she brought up Werewolves is available on Fandango for about $25. Have you seen it? Have you seen Werewolves? Has anybody seen Werewolves or Nosferatu? And Patty says 5'9", I'm 4'10". If I ask, will you get something off the top shelf for me? I sure will. If I can reach it. Yeah, that's not too tall, but I mean, if I can reach it, I will. D says I smell food and I gain weight. Yeah. It used to be my metabolism used to be like for years and years and years through most of my life. I wouldn't gain weight. I'd burn calories just reading the menu, and so I've always stayed thin. Other than there was one point though, about 9 years ago, where I had been at the heaviest point, and I was like, wow, how and it can happen pretty quick, or at least it seemed like it did. It probably was gradual. I'm sure it was gradual, but it had been going on for quite a while, and I'm so focused on the new job and everything else that that was going on at that time that I just didn't. It didn't really dawn on me at that point. But thank goodness I caught it, and then again in 2019, I think Ava and I. We were very regular on our exercises, and we didn't miss. I don't think we really would miss too many nights of that, and that's probably when I was at my lightest since about 2002, 2003. I was down at 154, 155. So I got pretty thin. I don't make it a habit of staying that thin, but yeah. Stephanie says, I haven't seen Werewolves either. Sorry, Brian. I look forward to seeing that one. Yeah, I've said on here before, werewolves are probably my favorite monster, Halloween monster anyways. I was something about the full moon and the beast, the monster. You know, Dracula's cool and all, but he's still pretty, the suave, gentleman, sophisticated looking monster. Although he is a monster, horrible at that. I want to see the monster, the scary, you know, the... Although, I'll tell you what, I've seen some paintings of Bela Lugosi, and they've taken their artistic liberties and really made him look very evil, very demonic, you know, monstrous. And that Dracula would certainly be pretty scary. So... I'm getting text messages. Let's see. Oh yeah. So, but anyways. Oh, Patty says, yeah. The American bald eagle is officially our national bird by law. The eagle. Well, that was that not always our, you know, I saw that brought up here recently. Was that not always our the national bird? Okay. Well, at this point, I can't believe we're 23 minutes into this already. But what I'm going to do, let's take a small or a short minute here. And where the heck? Okay, witching hour. Okay, if you live in Northwest Pennsylvania, stop by Chiller Night in the Cranberry Mall in Venango County. Venango County, Pennsylvania. Stop by and check out the Witching Hour Escape Room. It's a 1-hour horror-themed escape room. You can book that by calling 814-209-8214. Or you can go online and book it at chillernight.com. So if you like escape rooms, you want to check it out, or if you've never tried one, want to check that one out, or if zombies are more your speed, you'd like to try zombies out, 814-209-8214. Or again, you can book it online at chillernight.com. So, you know, I had mentioned Dracula, and we just got these in this week. Dracula Bendy Figs. So that's kind of a neat look for the old school monsters. But we got some of these figures in, and I plan on ordering more of those and getting a lot of T-shirts in the store as well. So we'll see how the store goes here in 2025. Whoops! Hit the wrong one. So. Let's see. Kevin says, Happy New Year, Brian. Hey, Happy New Year, Kevin. Thanks for joining us. Is it, let's see, well, it'd probably already be 2025 there, where you're at. Is it? Or, I would think so. Are you 4 hours ahead of us? But, well, regardless, Happy New Year's or New Year's Eve, whatever it may happen to be over there, over across the pond. So, thanks for joining us. Patty says, don't forget the demon atop Bald Mountain was based on Lugosi. I don't know that I've heard of that. I'm not sure that I'm aware of what that is, Patty. That's pretty interesting. The demon atop Bald Mountain was based on Lugosi. I didn't know that. I've not heard of that. Huh. Bob says, Ben Franklin wanted the turkey. Yes. I do know that. Yeah. Interesting. Interesting choice of bird. I suppose nowadays we wouldn't even think about it. We would just like, oh, okay, yeah, that's our national bird. But I'm glad it's the eagle, I gotta say. And then Tom says Ben Franklin wanted to make the turkey our national bird. What a dorky idea. Yeah, you just can't. You see the majestic, strong eagle, you know, symbol of America, the United States of America, and I just, yeah, you can't imagine the turkey. The turkey. D says, have you seen the Monster Mash movie 2024? Didn't get great Rotten Tomato ratings, 64%, but it was different. I have not. No, no, I've not seen the Monster Mash movie. It's a movie just called Monster Mash? Huh. This year. Huh. I did not see that. Wow. But it was different, you say? Bob says maybe we'd be eating eagles if he got his way. I don't know. I'd hate to think that. I always see some eagles now and then around this neck of the woods. I remember Ava and I were on our way home from, I don't know, somewhere. I mean, Oil City, Cranberry. I remember we saw two of them from the 30 miles it took for us to get from there to here. So that was pretty cool. Sometimes you might see one, but we actually saw two in two different locations on our way here. So that was pretty neat. Patty says Bald Mountain Demon is in Fantasia by Disney. Okay, that's starting to sound familiar to me. Okay. I did not realize that. Kevin says, tell Jack Shadow Happy New Year from Terror Vincent, LOL. Yes, I will be sure to do that. So you can assure Terror Vincent that I will relay that message to Jack Shadow. Thank you, Kevin. D says, yes, it's a throwback to the old horror icons, Dracula, Werewolf, and the Invisible Man. Huh. Are those monsters in it? I gotta look this up real quick. I don't always do that on here, but during the show, but I will here. Monster Mash. All right. Whoops. 2004 or 2024? Oh my gosh. 2024. Okay, bear with me, folks. 24. Here we go. And did you see this in the theater, or do you recall, like on Netflix or Monster Mash? Here we go. Was it a comedy? Like a comedy horror? Or Dracula, the Werewolf, the Mummy, and the Invisible Man must work together to stop Dr. Frankenstein from creating an unstoppable monster. Yeah. Was he really unstoppable? Was he really? He seemed to get stopped quite a bit. In the whole movies, he seemed to get stopped quite a bit. He'd get back up eventually, but I mean, All right, let's see. Michael Madsen as Dr. Frankenstein, Ethan Daniel Corbett as Dracula, Emma Reinagel as Isabetta, Eric Sessoman as Boris. I have not heard of most of these people. Adam Sleeman as Ramesses, Gabriel Prentiff as, okay, I'll say somebody if I recognize the name. Let's see. Most of these people I just don't. All right, nope, that was about it. Huh. So yeah. Well, I was going to read a trivia, but it says near the end of the film, so I don't want to do any of that and spoil it for anybody who wants to check out Monster Mash 2024. But, all right. Oh, we got quite a bit. Just when I was looking that up, we got quite a bit of the comments. Jason says, Did you see Nosferatu the Vampire with Klaus Kinski? Very good. It was 1979, I think. Yeah, I think you're right. It was. I believe it was 1979. Believe it or not, I've not seen that. I've not seen that one. And I think that you've mentioned that on here before. That you recommended that. So I have to check that one out. Bonin says D is the one where, is that the one where they kidnap Dracula's daughter and he has to go get her back? Huh. Stephanie says, OMG, you saw 2 eagles? Cool. Yes. Yep. Ava and I saw 2 of them on the way home one day. It was, I don't know if you're still watching, Ava. Wasn't that within the last year or two years? I'd say at least the last 2 years, so it was fairly recent. Patty says, Amazon is asking us to update delivery instructions. What do you want me to tell them? The mall office. Mall office. Same address, mall office. If you can. If not, now I will be there on the 2nd. Okay? I haven't been in there for the last few days just because I wanted to feel like I was taking a break from both my jobs. So, because I was on vacation from my regular my job, my rural job, and then and I was still going into the store. And I thought, wait a minute, this does not at all feel like I'm taking a break. I want to take a break, so I decided I wasn't going to go on Monday and tonight, New Year's Eve, and then I was going to take New Year's Day off. But I have bookings on the 2nd, so I'm going in anyways on that day. So, but if you're able to do that, if not, I will on that day I will put a sign there and let UPS know to take them to the mall office. And I appreciate that, and I'm sorry about the mix-up. I know you would ask me, is that the right address? And I was thinking about like when you had sent the Jack Shadow and stuff here, the T-shirt, the Creature from Black Lagoon T-shirt. And I was thinking that they came here to my home address. I live here in the dark domain where Jack Shadow dwells. But I was thinking, I had mistakenly thought, because it was during the show here, and I was thinking, oh, okay, I think that's what she means. So that's my fault. I'm sorry, Patty, that went to the store, and I'm not there during the day when they're delivering. So hopefully this will clear it up. I'm sure it will. We'll get it within the week. I'm sure of that. But I just appreciate you sending something. That's very nice of you. John says, I would love to celebrate New Year's not only in every time zone, but cross the international date line and celebrate New Year's again. It's on my ultimate bucket list. That would be kind of cool, wouldn't it? Yeah, just keep going back to where it's not midnight yet. D says 2024. Yep. Yeah, that's interesting. Okay, D says action, adventure, horror. Barely horror. Kind of like I would imagine maybe like the Van Helsing movie or something like that. You know, yeah, it was supposed to have monsters in it, you know, but it was just kind of more of an action movie, you know. But it says, if that's what you're talking about, D, I saw it. It wasn't bad at all. I enjoyed it. Oh, okay. Tom says, oh gosh, IMDb score of 3.6 out of 10. What? Really? They do that? They do the point something? Are you? That's a fail. Yeah, I would think. 33. 3.6 out of 10. Kevin says, mate, I am about to watch The Werewolf of London from Universal. Ah, nice. I like the Werewolf of London. What was it? 1935, I believe. Henry Hall playing the botanist. I believe the scientist, the botanist who becomes the werewolf, infected with the werewolf curse. It's an interesting movie. I've never seen that. You know, the werewolf in that movie is a little bit more of a little less of the savage wolf man like Lon Chaney Jr. and more closely related to Mr. Hyde, Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde. A little bit more like that. He still kept his hat on, scarf, you know, his coat, and sought out as victims. So, but I do enjoy that movie. So I'm sure you've seen that before, Kevin. I know you're a big horror movie fan, but if none of you have seen that movie, check it out. It's a fun movie to watch. So Jason says, "Are bendy action figures you can bend and position?" What's funny about that? I don't know for sure. I think so. I think that I've seen stuff online that you can bend them. It looks like you can. I wonder if I can make that any bigger. There's something. Whoops. I'm able to make that a little larger. What are they saying there? They are posable. But I wondered that too, and I didn't want to break one out. Figure with display case. I'm guessing that you can. I'll probably have to see my reflection in Dracula. You can't see Dracula's reflection, not in the mirror, but you can see Bryan's reflection in Dracula. All right, so, but I don't know. I'm assuming that that's what that is. I bought it with that understanding, so I'm a little curious about that myself. Let's see, but it says, yep, that's the one I saw. It was pretty good. It was kind of like an updated Universal 1940s movie get-together. They had several of those, didn't they? With, Frankenstein meets the Wolfman, the House of Dracula, and the House of Frankenstein, where they all would get together. Well, at least Frankenstein meets the Wolfman, those two got together. But that's really, I think, the first time they started matching them up. Jason says, "Wish I lived closer. I'd scoop them up from you." Yeah, they are pretty cool. They just look really neat. I'd like to get a bunch of them. And they have some of the more modern, for us, I don't know, like Jason, Michael Myers, Chucky. I've seen that they have Chucky, so I'm not sure if they have any other, like, of the slashers, the 80s, 90s slashers. But they have the old classic monsters. I know they have a bunch of the old classics. Patty says, "I put leasing office." Perfect, Patty. That should do it. So thank you for that. Dee says, "Oh no, it's worse than Van Helsing." Oh no. Worse than Van Helsing? I fell asleep during Van Helsing at the theater. Yeah, I went to the theater to see that. But I like that they at least tried to make a nod to the classic monsters. That's always, that's always appreciated, I'm sure. Bonus says, "Guess I'll shut up and keep quiet whenever there's movies mentioned." Why, what'd you do? What'd you do? It's kind of like an updated version of it. Yeah. Well, Bonehead liked it. Oh, probably because we were mentioning about, well, Tom had brought up about 3.6 out of 10 on IMDb. Yeah, their rating wasn't very high. They were none too impressed with it. But if you are, we want to hear it. So, you wanted the stretchy ones, Ava said. Yeah, I know. I don't know where I can get those. So, hoping they do too, Ava says. Yeah. I don't know. I wondered that. I mean, they're called bendies. Bendy figures, bendies. So, they should be able to bend. So, Ben says, "I like Michael Myers. Never got into them other slasher characters." Oh, yeah? So I like Jason, and I'll tell you why. Jason Voorhees was Friday the 13th Part 2 was the first rated R movie that I had gone to when I was a kid. And my older cousin, had got my cousin and I in, her younger brother, and I were the same age. So we went to the movies with her to see that. So Friday the 13th Part 2, Jason Voorhees, first time we had seen actually Jason as the killer, and he was wearing like the old pillowcase over the head with the one eye hole. So I kind of had had that nostalgia with Jason. If they fought Jason against Michael Myers, I would hope that I'd be rooting for Jason. I just have to admit, I would be. And he says, sent you a picture of the demon on Messenger. Oh, yeah? Tom says, we love low film ratings here. Yeah. Yeah, we're not looking for the Hollywood A-listings. We don't do that here at Chiller Night. All right, let's see. Patty sent me a picture of demon on the mess. Oh, yeah. Oh, okay. Okay, I see. I don't know if I can show it. I'm sure all of you, it's probably just me. Can I show that on here without the glare? I always try to avoid the glare. That figure there. Whoop, there we go. All right, so there it is. Thank you, Patty. Very cool, very cool. Stephanie says, I like both Michael and Jason. I do too. I like them both. I enjoy both their movies, but if they were in a fight, a knockout, drag out, slobber knocker, I'd like to see Jason. I'd like to see Jason come out on top. Just like when Jason fought Freddy. You know, I was happy with that outcome. As dumb as that whole thing was, it was still like, I kept reminding myself, like, okay, this is just, all right. I was kind of excited to see that. It's like, oh, they talked about it for so long. Then when I finally saw Jason versus Freddy, it's like, okay, well, I'm Jason's got to win, you know. That doesn't mean I don't like them both, but it was like, oh, I got to see Jason win. And he did, but then they had to have Freddy do the little wink at the end to show like, you think I'm done? No, I'm not done. So there was a winner, but was there, you know, one of those things. Like King Kong versus Godzilla. I remember King Kong winning that in 1962. Or it was a 62, 63, that version there. But did we talk about? Yeah, we've talked about this. I think we've talked about that. We had an entire episode, I think, devoted to King Kong versus Godzilla. At least I remember it that way. There's only one Jason Voorhees, Kane Hodder. D says, yeah, yeah. At least he seems to think so. But I kind of like the. He really put himself into that, you know, Kane. A lot of people do think Kane Hodder is Jason Voorhees. So, have you ever met him? I hear a lot of fans just love Kane Hodder. Say he's really good with the fans. Brian says Nosferatu was a good-looking film, but I thought it was slow-moving. Oh, you saw the new one. You saw the new one? Okay, that's cool. Well, we got if you're talking about the newest one, which I'm sure you are. That's the one we were asking about. So okay, you saw the new one. But it says, well, Brian, I guess it means I have no taste as well and no manners, sense or body. I truly are an empty numbskull. An empty numbskull. Well, hey. You know, we like folks that maybe aren't looking at the cream of the crop of the movie, the movie selections. Because if you did, I'm sure you wouldn't have watched The Giant Claw or The Screaming Skull or The Creeping Terror or any of the countless other movies that we've played here on Chiller Night Theater. Some of them were very good, you know, but some of them weren't. Some of them earned probably less than that 3.6 that Tom was mentioning a little bit ago. Tom says, post a location on Chiller Night Facebook page. What? What location? For the store? Is that what you mean? I'll wait for you to answer, if that's what you're talking about. If so, I thought... Okay, oh, the Chiller Night, the group page, okay. Stephanie says, by the way, my mom and I watched Plan 9 from Outer Space this week. Oh yeah, what'd you think of Plan 9 from Outer Space? I gotta hear this. But it says, thanks, Miss Stephanie. At least someone else on here likes something I do. LOL. Uh, Tom says, I mean, post the photo on Chiller Knight's Facebook page. The photo of the demon that was okay. Oh, come on now. Okay, on the group page? I'll put it on the group page. Groups. Chiller Night. That's a good idea. Here we go. Here's the pick from Patty. All right. We were talking about during the Chiller Night Live show, exclamation point. All right. There we go. So, good idea there. Stephanie says, I was rooting for Jason. Me too. All right, there we go. There we go. Patty says, Stephanie, was it the original or remake? Oh, with Plan 9. The original, she says. Nothing but the best. Dee says, I was ecstatic when the rumors of Ash versus Jason versus Freddy were brewing, but I guess that was just the fanfare. Yeah, and that was going on for so long. Like when I finally heard that they were going to put oh, there we go, Tom's not. Freddy versus Jason. Like for a while, I did believe it. I until I saw the trailer, I wasn't going to believe it. But yeah, I remember that they were talking about, and they were even talking about. I had even heard talk that they were going to throw Michael Myers in there as well. So I don't know. That would be crazy, wouldn't it? Brian says yes, the new one. Right, right. That's cool. Well, that's cool. Patty says, love that Plan 9. Jack Shadow loves that old Plan 9 from Outer Space, the original. If you've seen that episode, you would know it. Brian says, Happy New Year, boss. Hey, Brian. Lumberjack LaRue. Hope you're having a fantastic New Year's Eve. So, and Happy New Year's to you as well. Thank you. Thanks for joining us. Bonus says, merrily, merrily off I go. Where he'll stop, you really don't know. Patty says, we all have our guilty pleasures for watching movies. Yes. Put my mouse here. All right. John says, Willem Dafoe made a great Count Orlok for this movie. Oh, I bet so. He just has that look. He always has that look. You know? You don't think of Willem Dafoe too much for playing like a hero. You know? He just has that villainous look, you know? He's got that Jack Nicholson look or some. Who are some of the other actors who really, really do a good job playing a villain? Or have that look for the perfect villain, like Christopher Walken. At least the older Christopher Walken. Not the first time I've seen Plan 9, and I actually like it, Stephanie says. Very cool, very cool. Tom says, cool pick. Yeah, that's pretty neat. Michael Myers is my favorite, Jason says. I like Part 6. That's my favorite Michael Myers. I don't know about my favorite. I like the original. I like the original, but I do like, as hokey as it was, I like Part 6. Curse of Michael Myers, Petty says, just died here at work. Oh, no. Oh, yeah, I would imagine everyone's rushing home to be home. Maybe they're having their parties or get-togethers or just preparing food and stuff for midnight. You never know. John says, I found out today that The Skeleton Dance, one of Disney's animated features, will be available for public viewing in 25. Yeah, Brad Beckwith, who I don't really see on here too often anymore, but every once in a while we see him pop up here. But he had just wrote to me earlier, wishing me and Ava, Happy New Year's. But he had sent me a message about that as well, so that's pretty neat. Let's see. Yeah, no customers. No customers at Walmart, Patty says. Dee says, Vampira was in Plan 9. Such a cool movie. I play it in the background a lot. Ed Wood was so unique. Yeah, that he was. And I enjoyed the movie Ed Wood with Johnny Depp. That was pretty cool. Tom says, Defoe played Nosferatu in Shadow of the Vampire in 2000. Yeah. Yeah. Bonin says, I think I actually annoyed poor Petzovan to death and got Miss Stephanie thinking I'm losing my mind. Oh, I'm sure that's not the case, but well, I don't know. Again, what'd you do? Yeah, what mind, Bonehead? Bonehead says, chaos, panic, and disorder. My work here is done, he says. All right. Very good, very good. All right, so, hey, I haven't talked to everybody since after, I only got 8 minutes left, not even that. So, I hope everybody had a good Christmas. I know we did here. I'm just now remembering Christmas. We got the tree. Jack Shadow still has his tree up, and I almost forgot to bring that up. So, I hope everybody had a fantastic Christmas, and certainly hope that you have a wonderful New Year's Eve, and New Year's. And hope you're with, well, Tom will be sound asleep by then. But hopefully the rest of you will be watching the ball drop and celebrating the coming of 2025. So hope you get the chance to do that, and hope you have a good time. Tom said, Ed Wood was an awesome movie. That was. Martin Landau as Bela Lugosi. Perfect. What a neat movie. What a neat performance. Bunnan says, oh, shucks. Thanks, Tom. Just kick an old fool when he's down, LOL. Stephanie says, just checking if everyone's okay. Oh, with Patty's, yeah, the store's dead. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, everyone's kind of surprised they're still open. What time? I mean, yeah, I don't know. I don't know what time Walmart closes. They're not going to be open for New Year's Eve, are they? Or maybe they will. I don't know. Some places are. Some places are. Just like, you know, Sheets and stuff like that. I know when I was out on patrol, they were always open. It could be Christmas, New Year's, so they were always open. Thanksgiving. Stephanie, I had a great Christmas and birthday. Oh, that's right. Stephanie had a birthday, because I remember putting our happy birthday up there last week. Well, I'm glad to hear that. I'm glad you had a wonderful Christmas and birthday. Stephanie says, you okay, Tom? Because Tom asked. Noticed that Stephanie didn't specifically ask him if he was doing okay. So Patty says, I get home at midnight, so I will miss the ball. Oh, no! Bonin says, oh, thanks, Miss Stephanie. I think I'm okay, but I'm not so sure everybody else has that same opinion. Don't worry about what everyone else thinks. Tom says, yeah, great, Stephanie. Thanks for asking. Patty says, Walmart closes at 11 every day. Ah, okay. All right, there you go. I didn't know if there was like some of the bigger ones, like the super centers, were open 24/7. I don't know. Don't know. But that's good. I'm glad they close at some point to let you, all of you, go home. And Bonus says, Yins all know I really do like Yins all on here, right? Yins, I like that. There's 2 Yins in that sentence. And it's true Pittsburghese. So, yes. So, what is 8:55? I hope everybody, again, I hope you had a great Christmas, and hope you have a fantastic New Year's. And missing some of you, like Paul, Renee. I checked with Paul last week. He seemed to be doing okay. And with Renee, if you're watching this later, we haven't forgot you. Lasercorn, SBC, just all kinds of. There's oh geez, Raymond. It's so funny when I'm put on the spot like that. My mind goes blank sometimes. But yeah, I hope all of you have a fantastic New Year's Eve. And if you're watching this later, I still hope you maybe have a happy New Year's Day. But it says, I don't worry, Brian. I'm just a skull. Remember, I lost my mind long ago. Well, you just never give up hope. I'm sure you'll find it someday. Tom says, what is the root of yens? Yens. Why even have to ask that? That's yens. You know. John says, and as the final grains sands begin to fall, and prepare to bid 2024 farewell, the last chiller night comes to an end. This is Crozak the Grand reminding you all, have a great night and have a happy New Year 2025. See you for the first new show. Until then, stay chilled and keep thrilled. Oh, and then we get the popping of the champagne. So, well, thank you, John, very much. Couldn't have said it better myself. So, Patty says, stay safe. I'll see you guys next year. Bonin says, seriously, God bless each and every one of you people. Yins all have a great and happy, wonderful New Year. Thank you. Thank you. And to all of you, I want to thank you for joining me and each other. Stephanie says, take care of y'all. See you next week. Happy New Year. Yes. And hold on to those New Year's resolutions. I don't know if you still make resolutions. I hope you do. Come on. Be a kid again. Have that, be a visionary, you know. Have that that sense of wonder about you. And take it into the new year. And hopefully if you have resolutions, you stick with them. They're kind of rewarding. And they're just fun. So, Bonehead says, it's Pittsburgh for y'all, Tom. Right. There's the root. Let's see. Tom says, okay, I'll offer my New York greetings to you all. I'm looking forward to seeing you next year. There you go. All right. We'll tell you how it was with the ball dropping, Tom, since you're going to be asleep. I'll tell you. So, all right, everybody. Thank you again for joining me for Chiller Night Live and each other. So, Happy New Year to one and all out there, you crazy chiller maniacs, you, and have a good night. Have a good chiller night. We'll see you next week.